Okay, so let's talk about a word you've probably heard thrown around a ton: blockchain. You hear it connected to pretty much everything these days, right? From crypto to digital art. But what it actually is, well, that can feel a little fuzzy. We're going to cut right through all that noise and get to what's really going on. So let's start with a simple question. Just for a second, forget all the tech jargon, all the hype. Just think about this. What if you could create a digital record of something, anything at all, and be totally, 100% certain it could never, ever be secretly changed or deleted or faked? That one idea right there, that's the key to understanding all of this.
All right, so let's get right to it. What is a blockchain, really?
So at its core, here's the definition. It's a digital system for recording information. But the real magic is in those three words: secure, transparent, and unchangeable. Secure means it's protected from tampering. Transparent means its history is out in the open for anyone on the network to see. And unchangeable, or immutable, if you want the fancy word, means that once something's written down, it's basically set in stone. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. That's a great definition, but it still feels a little up in the air, right? How does that actually work in the real world? To make this super clear, we're going to use a simple analogy that really hits the nail on the head. So let's imagine we're not dealing with complex computer code. Instead, let's just think about something we all understand: a notebook. But this is a special kind of notebook. It's a digital shared notebook. Think of it exactly like this. This digital notebook is shared across a whole network of computers. Every single page in the notebook is what we call a block. But these pages aren't just sitting there loosely. Nope. Each one is cryptographically locked to the page that came before it, creating a chain. A block, chain. See? When you put it that way, it's actually pretty simple. So how does this notebook get built? Well, first, someone creates a new page. That's our block. Second, information gets added to it. This could be anything: a record of a transaction, a piece of a contract, any kind of data. Third, and this is the really clever part, that new page gets securely locked to the one before it using a unique digital fingerprint. So if you try to change anything on a previous page, that link shatters. Finally, the entire updated notebook is broadcast and shared with everyone else on the network. Every single person gets an identical, up-to-date copy. But wait a minute. What makes this notebook so different from, say, a shared Google Doc? What gives it its real power? Well, it all comes down to two key features that make it truly special. And those two features are: it's decentralized and it's secure. Let's break down exactly what that means. First up, decentralized. In our notebook analogy, there's no single master copy that one person or one company is in charge of. Instead, everyone on the network has their own identical copy. This means no single person, no big corporation, no government can just swoop in, change the rules, or shut the whole thing down. The power is distributed across the entire network. And second, secure. Remember how each page is locked to the one before it? Well, imagine a bad actor tries to go back and secretly change something on an old page in their copy of the notebook. The instant they do that, that special cryptographic link breaks. Their notebook no longer matches everyone else's, and the rest of the network would instantly reject it as a fake. It's this extreme difficulty in changing the past that makes the entire system so incredibly trustworthy. And that really gets us to the fundamental shift here. A traditional system, like a bank's ledger, is centralized. One entity controls it, and it's changeable. A blockchain is the polar opposite. It's decentralized, and for all practical purposes, it's unchangeable. So here's the crucial point. The main takeaway: when you combine that decentralization with that security, what you get is a shared digital history that everyone can trust without needing to trust a central authority like a bank to manage it. We can trust the record itself because the system is designed from the ground up to be incorruptible. And that brings us to our final thought. We've just covered the what and the how of blockchain, but the really exciting part is the why. If we can have a record of information, of money, of votes, of ownership, of identity, that is genuinely trustworthy and can't be secretly tampered with, what does that make possible for our future? Now that is something to think about.